Hey, welcome back to another very dark day in Ohio where I'm driving home, and today is December 1st. So, of course, we're going to talk about Christmas a little bit. And I know a lot of people have already started Christmas shopping. I myself have started Christmas shopping, but I don't really start celebrating until December 1st. And it's got nothing to do with the fact that I think Thanksgiving deserves its due, even though it does. It's got more to do with the fact that my brain can only process so much at once. So I have to take it one day at a time, one thing at a time, one holiday at a time. And now that December 1st has hit, I'm finally ready to process the fact that Christmas is almost here. And with that, for a lot of us, comes the fact that we will be spending lots of money for Christmas. And today I want to talk about a few ways that you can kind of cut costs on Christmas without sacrificing the enjoyment of the season, because it is supposed to be a fun and jolly and enjoyable time of the year. And just because you're on a budget doesn't mean you have to enjoy it any less. So let's get cracking. These are all some ways that I myself have tried and used different situations in the holiday season to cut costs, and I think most of them work very well. I'll give you my opinions as I go through them. First of all, start early. And by start early, I don't mean buy early. You can do buying whenever you want, even though I have found that in the past, buying around August gives you better prices than buying around December. But you know, kids, they can change their mind in a minute. So if your kids like that, you don't want to be buying toys in August for a kid who may like something completely different in December. I get that. I've got 3 kids. I understand that completely. What I mean by start early is start saving early. So I don't know if a lot of people do this, but the way I always did it once we started budgeting was to figure out how much we spent on Christmas gifts, and I mean everybody's Christmas gifts, for the entire season, and divide that by the number of paychecks we got up until we stopped buying. So if we stopped buying at December 1st, if we would stop buying today, December 1st, I would have budgeted to have that amount that we would spend divided by the number of paychecks from January 1st to December 1st. And there's a couple of reasons that this helps. It's very small amounts when you break it down that far. So what seems like a very large amount will inevitably become much smaller when you break it down between how many paychecks are included in those 11 months of the year. Another reason this works really well is because when you go to start buying, the money is already there, and you don't have to worry about where it's going to come from, whether you need to take out, a new credit card to pay for the PS4 that your kid wants. If that's something that you decide to buy for your child, then you have already budgeted for it, and you know what the cost was from paycheck to paycheck, and you've set that money aside. And now December 1st comes and you have the money to buy the PS4. It takes a lot of stress out of buying, for me, at least. So start early, work out your budget. You can do it this year. I mean, not save up for this year, because obviously it's a little late to break it down real far right now, but you can start the minute Christmas is over. Gather up everything you bought, try to remember what you paid for it, keep your receipts if you need to, or just estimate on what you paid for it. That's what I do. I'm not an exact numbers type of person. I'm more of a big picture person, and decide that is the number I want to spend next year. Or if you want to spend more next year, take that number and divide it by the number of paychecks from January 1st to December 1st, or January 1st to whenever you decide to start buying. And that's what you'll take out of your paycheck. Now, I do recommend that you put this money somewhere that you are not going to touch it. Don't leave it in your checking account with all the other funds that you're going to be spending throughout the year, because it will get spent. I mean, at least if you're like me, it will get spent that way. What we do is we have a separate account, a separate checking account that we keep linked to our main checking account. So there's one main account that we have that is where all of our, purchases go through. So bills, everything, all of our purchases go through there. And when we buy something for Christmas, we reimburse our main account with the money from our Christmas fund. And it's that simple. It's already there. It's already paid for. And when I go to buy, it's much less stressful because of it. So if that's not something you already do and you're looking to ease the stress of the holiday season, that might be something good to implement for next year. Another thing you can do to cut costs is, if you have any choice in the matter, don't be the host. Don't host Christmas at your house, because not only is it extra stressful, but then you have the time costs of cleaning and cooking, as well as the cost of food that you're inevitably going to buy to cook for everybody. Even if it's a potluck, when you host, you're more likely to contribute the big ticket items like big hunks of meat, turkeys, hams, and things like that, roasts, because you have the oven in your hosting facility. So yeah, if you have any choice in the matter, don't host. If it is just more convenient to you to host, go ahead and host. Gosh, make it easy on yourself. We have 3 kids, and we host the gathering for our family every year because all of our kids' stuff is there, and then we don't have to haul toys back and forth. So it's really whatever makes the most sense for your family. Just know that hosting probably will end up costing you more, because you will end up paying more for house cleaning or food in that instance. Doesn't have to be true, but it likely is. Another thing, and what we're doing brand new this year, is we are not doing gifts from mom and dad for our kids. My kids are 8, 2, and 1. They still all believe in Santa, and we are going to get them gifts from Santa, like one big gift from Santa. And mom and dad are not giving gifts this year. What we're doing instead is we're taking the money we would have spent on gifts from mom and dad, and we are going on a family trip. Now, if you do this, make sure that you're not spending more on the trip than you would have on the gifts. Otherwise, unless your goal is to spend more money, just don't bust your budget on it, because if your goal is to spend less money, then going somewhere really extravagant may cause you to spend more rather than less. But for us, and what I recommend you do if you still want to get your kids a little something, we always did something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read from mom and dad. And then we give one gift from Santa, one bigger gift, and then the stockings are from Santa. That's how we always did it, and I find that it keeps us from overbuying, because our kids, even though it doesn't look like a ton under the tree, our kids get a lot of stuff from other people from the holiday season. And what ends up happening inevitably is that we just have so many toys that they never even play with. We got rid of stuff last year that wasn't ever touched by our kids, and I hate that. I feel like it's a waste of everyone's time, energy, and money. It's disrespectful to the person who gave the gift, because it feels like you can't even appreciate it because your kids just have too much to play with. So that's what we're doing this year. They can get gifts that they love, in the tangible items from grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles, whoever is giving them gifts this year. But as far as mom and dad goes, we're going to go and have a good time as a family, and that's our gift to our kids this year. And I think that's a fabulous idea, and they're excited for the prospect too. Another thing you can do, and what we've done for many years now, is instead of giving gifts to every single person in your family, arrange like a secret Santa or a stocking exchange. And that's what we do, and I absolutely love it. So instead of me buying for my mom and dad, and us buying for my in-laws, and buying for my sister and her husband, we all get together and we buy for one person. And you can implement a budget limit on it. We don't have one, but what usually happens is everybody ends up spending around $150 to $200 on this one person. And I know that if I bought gifts, worthwhile gifts, for every single person in that group, that it would amount to way more than that. And this way, another benefit of it is that you get to really focus on that one person, what they love through the year, and what they have mentioned that they want or send to you that they want. And you can get a couple of bigger ticket items instead of giving everybody in the group something really small that they may never ever use. These are the things that they want and they really appreciate it. And we don't keep ours a secret because it would never stay a secret in our family. Plus, I think it's really fun to send stuff to my stocking buddy through the year that I would not buy for myself, but that I would love to have. So, I send like makeup and things that I don't normally buy for myself to my stocking buddy, and I fully expect to get a lot of the things on my list because I know how our team operates. And that's something you can do too. Again, it's a great cost-saving measure, as well as lots of fun going around and seeing what everybody got from year to year, and collaborating with other people if you have somebody that's really difficult to buy for. I just think it's lots of fun and a great idea. Let's see my notes here. Family trip, did that. Oh, here's one that you may or may not enjoy. And this is one that I'm personally doing this year. I'm opting out of the work Secret Santa. So if you have a bunch of groups or friend groups in your circle of friends or circle of contacts, and everybody does a Secret Santa, well, that can add up fast. So this year, I am helping to organize the party, and I am opting out of Secret Santa. Does it seem a little hypocritical? Not to me, but I figure that it's better for me to opt out and save that money at this point in time in my life where my goals lie higher than spending on Christmas gifts. And there's no harm, no foul. There's a bunch of other people involved in the Secret Santa, so it's not like anybody's missing out. It's just whoever wanted to join could, whoever didn't want to join didn't have to. And that was me. I volunteered to help with the party, and I feel like that's a good enough contribution for me. So if that's something that you feel like, don't feel guilty about it. Just because you're opting out of Secret Santa doesn't make you a Scrooge. It doesn't make you a penny pincher in a bad way. It just means that you have different goals right now, and I think everybody would understand that. If somebody told you that they had different goals for their life and they didn't have a Christmas gift for you this year, you would totally understand that, I hope. And if you didn't, maybe you should be a part of the Secret Santa. So there's another good one. Check my notes again. Oh, here are a couple good ones. So, as kids get older, it's really hard, honestly, to figure out what to buy for all the kids in your family. And the little kids, you want to get them something that they're going to be able to open because it's nice and that's what they're excited about on Christmas. You don't want to kill the magic because you don't have something for them to open. So what you can do in that case is get little gifts, or get them experience gifts. If they don't mind, if they're the type of kid or they're of the age that they don't mind not having something to open, then get them an experience. Go to a bouncy house or a trampoline park is what I mean. Go to a trampoline park, let them wear themselves out for a day. For my family, this is great because our daughter is kind of the only one in our family in her age group, so that she gets the interaction with friends of her own age. Even offer maybe to take a friend with them so that they have somebody to play with if they're an only child. And that can be a gift. So I think that's a good idea. And it doesn't have to be a trampoline park. It can be anywhere your kid likes to go to. There's a science museum in cities near us. There's all kinds of things for kids to do. And I'm sure if you asked them, they would have some ideas on how they could spend some time with you. And they'll love spending the time with you too. Because if you're like me and you're a working mom, your kids are always wanting to spend more time with you. Then my idea for older kids is just to get them a gift card. That's what we do every year for the older kids in our family. We do the gift cards rather than money because the gift cards are spent at a specific place, especially if you're buying for adults who tend to, like me, save their money and not spend it on themselves or reallocate it to something that they need rather than they want. So gift cards are a great way to give somebody something that they actually want, that they will spend the money on that thing rather than allocating it to something else. With older kids, I do iTunes gift cards every year for our nephews, or they're smaller cousins, but nephews, and they like it. And if they don't like it, I've never heard a complaint. Guess what? Nobody's ever returned money. So I think those are awesome gift ideas. So that's just a few ways. I'm sure there are many more ways for you to cut your budget on Christmas, but those are a few that I've used and some that I really recommend, because not only does it cut down on the budget, but it really does not cut down on the Christmas spirit, and you don't feel like you're not participating in the holiday because of your budget. Because if you do that and you don't enjoy life, then you're not ever going to stick to a budget. So these are a few ways you can save for Christmas, how to spend on Christmas so that it's not taking up your entire wallet, how to not go into debt at Christmas. And I hope that you try a few of these out. If you do, leave me a comment below on which ones you're going to try. Hit that like button so that the algorithm can send this to other people over the Christmas holidays who might need it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.